We'll be learning about covalent bonding. So, remember noble gases? One important characteristic of this family is that they do not usually form compounds. Elements in the noble gas family do not even typically form molecules. They just exist as single atoms. Why do noble gases exist by themselves instead of forming compounds? It all has to do with electrons. All of the noble gases, except helium, have 8 electrons in their outermost electron shell. You can see them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The outermost electron shell is called the valence shell, or the valence electrons. So this is the valence shell, the one on the outside. Having 8 electrons in the outermost electron shell means the shell is full. All atoms prefer to have 8 electrons in their outermost electron shell, or their valence shell. This is called the octet rule. The only 2 atoms that don't follow this rule are helium and hydrogen. They prefer just to have 2 instead of 8. So what does all this have to do with bonding and forming molecules? Atoms form molecules so that they can follow the octet rule. Let's zoom in on a water molecule to see this in action. Water's chemical formula is H2O, which means that one molecule of water, which is what we see here, has 2 hydrogen atoms, those are the white ones, and 1 oxygen atom, that is the red one. If we zoom in on the oxygen atom, we can see that it has 6 electrons in its outermost electron shell, or its valence shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means it's 2 electrons short of a full electron shell. Remember, atoms want 8 electrons in that valence shell, and right now oxygen is 2 short. So hydrogen just has 1 electron in its outermost shell, and because hydrogen is so small, it's satisfied with just 2 electrons. So what can oxygen and hydrogen do in order to satisfy that rule and have a full shell? Well, what they do is they share. The 2 hydrogen atoms share their electrons with the oxygen atom, which gives the oxygen atom 8 electrons in its outermost shell, and it gives the hydrogen 2. So in this picture here, you can see the 2 hydrogen atoms, and their electrons are green, and the oxygen atom in the middle with its yellow electrons. So if we count up for hydrogen, 1, 2, hydrogen is happy. Over here, 1, 2, hydrogen is happy. And for oxygen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oxygen is happy as well. So this kind of sharing of electrons is called covalent bonding. In covalent bonding, electrons are shared among different atoms so that they all have a full valence shell. Nonmetals are the ones that form covalent bonds, and they form them with other nonmetals. More specifically, it's basically just these ones in this triangle here, and it also includes hydrogen. An incredible variety of molecules can be made with just a few elements. On the screen here, we can see examples of all kinds of things that are made using basically just nonmetals. So, what did we learn in this video? We learned that the valence shell is the outermost electron shell. We learned that in the octet rule, atoms prefer to have 8 electrons in their valence shell. And we learned that covalent bonding is when atoms form molecules by sharing electrons, and this is for nonmetals only. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.